Blog Talk Radio.
Everybody, and welcome once again to Soul Sister Show with host Sue Schumacher and myself, Anoulla. And today we have passed January in the year 2020. Wow, time is running really fast. And today we have February 6th in US and Europe and February 7th in Australia. And as usual, we are a live call-in worldwide radio show, so give us a ring at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, so give us a ring, join us and have fun, ask questions, or why not get a free mini reading live on air. International callers dial +1 213-943-3587. Remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device so we see that you want to talk with us live on air and you get your spot in the queue. And I'm Anne, coming to you live from Rhodes in Greece this time, and we have a nice winter here. It's not really winter in my sense because I'm from Sweden and, you know, I'm used to very cold and ice and snow and all of that stuff. But it's raining and I actually love rain. I have to admit that. On today's show, we are going to talk about soul realignment. What are the Akashic Records? Plus your calls for questions and me readings live on air, just as we usually do. So give us a ring at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and please remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device to be placed in queue, and we can see that you want to talk with us live on the show. And we are really loving to take your call, so please call in. We are a live call-in worldwide radio, broadcasting today's show from Arizona in the U.S. and Rhodes in Greece. And as always, you can listen live and text chat with us during the show at scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live. And why not give us a ring at 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and you can talk with us about today's topic, which is soul realignment. What are the Akashic Records? Or ask any spiritual question, or why not get a free mini reading live on air. And remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device to be placed in queue. And as I said, on today's show, we will talk about soul realignment. What are the Akashic Records? And that's a really interesting topic because what is it? So tune in. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. And we are the show that discusses the Akashic Records, soul realignment, healing modalities in general, and we just love and are passionate about all and any spiritual topic. And of course, as I said, we are a live call-in worldwide radio show, and we have some wonderful announcements. We now have listeners from 17 countries, and it may be growing. So I didn't check in the last week, actually. So we are actually growing 17 countries. And we want to thank you all for honoring us with listening in wherever you are in the world, calling in, chatting with us in the chat room, and trusting us to answer your questions. Our listeners are in Australia, Bhutan, Canada, Egypt, Spain, France, UK, Greece, India, Ireland, Morocco, Mauritius, Nigeria, Netherlands, New Zealand, Sweden, and the United States. So now is a great time to call in at 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 213-943-3587. It's a great time to get your spot in the queue early. And also, we want to mention that Scrolls of the Soul Radio are now since the end of December on YouTube. So we recently created a new channel where you can find full episodes of past show, currently from December 19th last year. And you can also check upcoming shows, short videos for upcoming shows. So we want to make it easy for everyone to listen to replays and have a connection with us. You can read more at scrollsofthesoul.com/post/YouTube. scrollsofthesoul.com/post/YouTube. Or why not go to YouTube and open it up and just search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly. Please subscribe to keep yourself updated on published episodes on YouTube. Now, let me finally bring on my co-host for Soul Sisters today, Sue, my beautiful soul sister, all the way from Arizona in the U.S. Hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm good, Sissy. Just sitting here warming up a little from the cold desert weather we're having today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's absolutely fine. I think we basically are following each other when it comes to weather when I'm in Greece. I think it's basically the same, maybe a little bit more moisty here.
I know. I find it amazing. You know, I'm in the desert and you're on an island, and we can pretty much say that, you know, our temperatures are very much in alignment with each other when you're over in
Yeah,
Greece.
they are. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's just a synchronicity. That's what I think. You know, just more to say what we have in common.
Yes, we have a lot in common. We're soul sisters, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So, everybody, now is a great time to call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587 and get your spot in the queue early. And if you'd like to connect with myself, Anne, or Sue on a more personal level and for personal readings, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. Or why not go to scrollsofthesoul.com and find out all about us as a radio channel and also on our personal pages. Once again, call in now for questions and free mini readings live on air and get your spot in the queue. Call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and remember to press 1 on your keypad to be placed in queue. And before we move on with today's show, I know that my soul sister always want to remind us a little bit what we talked about last show.
Yes, I do. last show was a part two series on near-death experiences. We first chose this to do the topic January 21st. That was the first episode. And then last week we had the second part. And that topic was quite interesting. I mean, I won't go into all of it now, but it's an interesting topic. Just to kind of summarize, in that in this arena, we all seem to find that we have different experiences that bring us to the table. And for me, mine was over, the course of losing many family members within a very short span of time and seeking for some answers. And one of the first things I did was just some research on authors and kind of trying to fulfill something I didn't really realize at the time was a void, just to try to understand. And of course, I came across several different books I started reading on near death, and it was one I can honestly say that was fulfilling emotionally. It brought me to where I needed to be because basically, I mean, we all know the title's near death, so or it's someone who's passed and come back and has a story to tell. And from my research over the years, all the stories are very similar in nature, and this includes those with no religious background ever, even those who were atheists, and those with several different types of religious background, all saying the same thing. So that was interesting to me, and it didn't change from any person who ever reported their experience. So that for anyone who's grieving and looking for answers and just struggling, quite honestly, I would recommend that, whether you're religious or not, as a kind of a starting point to help, because there's so much great information that's reported back. So, like I said, this was done the 23rd of January for part one, and then last week was part two. And if you're interested in the topic, you can go to our webpage at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. So, with that being said, I will. And by the way, we are the show that does discuss the Akashic Records, Soul Realignment, healing modalities in general. And of course, we'd love to talk to you. And if you haven't called in yet, you could call in at, God, I lost my place with my number, 213-943-3587. One of
it
those
happens.
days. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
What's my number? But yeah, I loved that topic last week and the week prior. It was near and dear to my heart. And now the topic this week, of course, is just as near and dear to Anne and my heart, which is
of course. It everything is connected, isn't it? Everything is connected.
Yeah, and really, just to finalize that particular topic, I think it's all about moving through our experiences in life and coming to some place of understanding and finding peace, because that's what that was for me. It was about finding peace and answering, I guess, the fundamental questions, where do we go after we die? So it was a huge help and a stepping stone for me to move on to bigger and better things in the spiritual community. And of course, the Akashic Records, and the show today is going to be, what are they? So we're going to get into that a bit today. But just a notation on that. we try to explain publicly some of the work that's done that Anna and I do with the Akashic Records without handing off the tools of the trade, so to speak. But we do like to educate our audience on what exactly that is, and it kind of give you an idea to wrap your brain around and say, okay, that makes sense. So we do these shows specifically on the first of the month, every month, and we do it basically. If you notice, our show, our channel, our website is called Scrolls of the Soul. We actually that name is actually created because of the Akashic Records. So it's another way to imagine where your records are on a scroll, let's say. So
Yes.
if you're wondering, we are the Soul Sister Show, but if you're wondering why is it called Scrolls of the Soul, it's actually derived from the Akashic Records. That's where we got that name from. Okay, so let me move through this a little bit and get into what are they. The Akashic Records are comprised of all human events, thoughts, words, emotions, and intent ever to have occurred in past, present, or future. So just think about that for a minute. So I'm going to repeat that again because that's a lot packed into a very small statement. The Akashic Records, which is basically the soul's records, are all of our human events, thoughts, words, and emotions, and intent ever to have occurred in the past, present, and future. Now, just with that alone, could you possibly, even as on the human level, wrap your brain around that idea? That means that the future is existing as well as the past and present.
Yes, it is.
To put your brain around that is, I think, on the human level, is probably pretty hard to do. But it's everything ever spoken, ever thought of. That is what it's saying, and every emotion that goes along with that. They're believed to be encoded into a non-physical plane of existence known as the etheric plane. I think it's kind of self-evident when I say that. I don't think I need to explain that further. In a nutshell, the Akashic Records are the energetic database that stores all information about all choices that were ever made. The records contain a vast amount of information. Okay, so just that part, that beginning part of it, the only way I could put my head into that, because we're talking about all those who exist on the human side. We're not speaking about anything else, just the human side. This is you can't. I don't think visually see or really understand how huge this, I would say, library is, because it is in so many ways an etheric library, and it's massive.
Yes.
There's millions and millions of us, so it's quite massive.
Yes.
For us,
if you
though,
think of it, sister, only for one person, one soul, that's a lot of information. It's it's much information, because it's every lifetime, everything we ever thought, did, whatever we have been dealing with on all levels since the day we were created.
Well, here's a question, okay? Because there's my brain, how my brain works. I'm going to throw this out at you, and you might not have the answer, and it's just I'm thinking out loud. So when we say past, present, and future, do you think that this library that exists for each, this record that exists for each soul, is
I think
ever growing?
All the information. It's continuing forever. I don't think that we ever as souls disappear. We change vibration, we change dimensions, we change where we are, but I think we are forever lasting. I can't really wrap my brain because now we are out. I feel in deep water because we can have
Yep.
theories, and what I just said is my theory
Right.
about it in where I am at right now. But it's also it's also, if you think about it, if everything is coexisting at the same time, that's also intriguing. How does
Mhm.
that really work? You know?
Right. No, no, no. That's why I just threw that question out there, specifically about future. I would imagine. Okay, so my theory would be, well, if we're dealing with a library, let's say in my head, I see this as a library type of thing. It's a library of information that is being built upon continually. It's not.
Yes.
It's only getting bigger because the information is is going to change.
Yes.
While past and present is fixed, right? The
Yeah.
future, as far as we know here, the future may not be fixed. So I would imagine that where the repository of information is has to grow. Just my
Yes.
theory on that. Me and my theories.
Yeah. Or if you, I don't have a real theory that are not as your theory, but if you would consider that if we are, as some are saying in this field, that we are just discovering, we are already perfect, right? So everything already exists, right? So if we are only remembering and finding our way back home, so to speak, and getting to align those all of those things in this physical reality we live in. So that would mean that maybe it's not growing, maybe it's already everything is already there. But on the other hand, there's a big record of all our choices, and they are not always in alignment with us, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's so hard, when you get to that level. It's I think for us to wrap our brain around that concept is it's so massive, you know. Um,
Yes, it is
and I kind
massive.
of like to go further in my thought with it because that curiosity factor comes in. But like
Yes,
all of
go
us, I
ahead.
mean, we we don't know. We don't know 100%. We know per the information that's presented to us, and that's okay too.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
that's the
yes,
beauty of this work. And there's no 100% answer for everything and everybody. It's just always a thing, that fascinates me because when we last week, I'm going to bring this up as an example. So in the near-death experience, one of the things that was talked about was um, that time didn't exist, right? So everything
yeah,
you could see those who had gone and come back would say that they could see everything all at once, right? And so
yeah,
that includes past, present, and future. Well, we can't possibly wrap our heads around that here, and that's where my brain starts going with some theories as to what this library means. Just for me personally,
yes,
I'm not saying it's true or not. It's just a personal kind of feeling on it. So, yeah, it's just you're combining. This is what near-death experience people say is that you combine your past, present, and future. They're all as one because time doesn't exist. So,
yes.
that's some cool stuff. We're getting some really cool information and realms. Okay,
Yes, it
so
is.
I let off a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, so
That's
again,
okay. I love that.
just how my brain operates, just goes all the way until I can't figure it out anymore. So like we said, this is the Akashic Records. What are they? I'm going to kind of move through some more information. The term Akashic Record is derived from the Sanskrit word Akasha, meaning ether. In Hindi, Akash means sky or heaven, rather than thinking of the records as a single place, which I think, we kind of do. We were just talking about that as like a library, so to speak. They're often linked to a library. Imagine them that like an energetic information superhighway, which I just love that explanation, that resides outside of time and space. The internet is a great analogy for the Akashic Records. They truly are more like the World Wide Web, which, I agree with that. It is, because, the internet and the World Wide Web is this humongous database of information ever evolving.
Yeah.
And
I have to make a note here. And this is very interesting. So if you compare the Akashic Records with the World Wide Web, it's very good, because if you, for instance, use a search engine like Google or anything else, and you search for something, because it's so big, you want to specify your question so that you know that you will get the most accurate answer to your question. And that's exactly what we do. Yes, because that's exactly what we are doing too. Because it's so big, so you want, sometimes many people who are coming to us or maybe searching for psychic advice and things like that, they have general questions, but this is, Akashic Records is not the place for general questions. So you actually want to specify like detective work so that you can find the answers that you're seeking. So, I mean, the relevant and true answers, because that's it's important, because it's so big.
Right. And on a side note to that statement, okay, it's not so much that the client is asking that precise question, it's that us, the practitioner, is. Okay,
yes.
Very strict protocols and guidelines that are used, extremely strict. Nothing like I think we've ever seen, both Ann and I. So it's not only strict in that sense, but very precise with the questioning.
Yeah.
So
because
so let me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Ann.
I'm so eager to talk.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Akashic Records, when you are going to connect with the Akashic Records, you can't simply go there and you can say, okay, what's in my future? You can't do that. You're not going to have a true answer to that, because it's too big question. So you can't even ask,
too broad.
What are my blockages? Because you need to try to figure that out one by one. So it's actually a real detective work, but it's very accurate. It's very precise, and the answers are very precise. So you can, based on the information that you are gathering with your checklist and questionnaire, you start to try to figure out what to ask next to find out what the real issue is. So it's coming out with real, practical, and direct answers. Actually, that makes sense.
Right. Oh yeah, and more so. As the practitioner, it's completely obvious to us, and then of course when you give that to the client, it's so overwhelmingly obvious to them, the issues that are derived from it, the answers that are derived from it, and even though it may not make any sense to us as a practitioner, it resonates so deeply with a client, so much. And I think every time you do this, you're surprised in your client's response as to how much it does resonate with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a great tool. It's it's a tool unlike one we've I think ever used before prior to ever studying this and studying
Yes.
the
I'm
method.
sorry, Cece. I did interrupt you.
No, that's
Continue
okay.
to let me know and let all of us know now the rest of the Akashic
Okay.
Records.
So before we reach the bottom of the hour, before Anne has to get to the bottom of the hour, I'm just going to finish up some of this. So, like I said, it truly is more like the World Wide Web, and that remember that the dimensions become less dense the higher they are. As there is less density, there's also less separation between us as an individual soul. The fifth dimension is the lowest dimension by which we can access soul level information about each other because of the lack of separation at that dimensional level of our existence. Since we have evolved our consciousness, which we have, over time, you kind of see that, to the fifth dimensional vibration rate, we can access the fifth dimension consciously while we are incarnated, which, we use that word a lot, incarnated. Most people tend to use reincarnated, but I prefer actually the word incarnated. So
Yes.
I'm going to just leave it there so you can go into the bottom of the hour and just move through once you're done with the bottom of the hour information. Proceed
Okay,
forward.
so my time again. Yay!
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just joking. So, everybody, we are so grateful to have you on with us and happy that you're listening in and interacting with us. And I know that we have a question in the chat room, so maybe we can take that right after the announcements, and then we can move on with the topic. How about that, Sissy?
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Okay. So, everybody, if you haven't called in yet, now is a great time to call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number. And please remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device to be placed in queue, and we see that you want to talk with us live on air. On today's show, we are talking about soul realignment. What are the Akashic Records? Plus, we take your calls for questions and mini readings live on air, and we even take mini readings in the chat room. So please, if you are in the chat room at scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live, please don't be shy. Write to us anything you want. If you have a question about the topic, if you have any spiritual question in general, or if you want a free mini reading here with us today. And if you'd like to connect with Sue or myself, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And as I mentioned, you can listen live and text chat with us during the shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live, all on the same page. And we are very proud that we now have listeners in 17 countries, and we are growing. So thank you, everybody. We are so grateful and honored that you are listening in with us, chatting in, calling in, and trusting us to answer your questions. Our listeners are in Australia, Bhutan, Canada, Egypt, Spain, France, UK, Greece, India, Ireland, Morocco, Mauritius, Nigeria, Netherlands, New Zealand, Sweden, and the United States. So thank you so much. We are very honored and happy to be interacting with you. Our next upcoming show here on Scrolls of the Soul Radio is next Thursday, February 13th, with Soul Sister Show, and we will be welcoming special guest Bob Jaco, all the way from Australia, and we will discuss co-creation, what it really means. He's a very experienced man. He has been in the spiritual field for over 40 years, and we will take your calls for questions and discussions live on air. I know that Bob is not giving mini readings just as we do, but we may pop in once in a while to give you a mini reading if you feel for it. We have a note with next show. We are going to change the airtime for next week's show because of the time difference with different time zones. Bob Jaco is based on the Gold Coast in Australia, and Sue is in Arizona in the US, and I'm in Greece in Europe. So we go live 1 p.m. Pacific in the US, 9 p.m. London in the UK, 11 p.m. in Greece, and it's going to be Friday, February 14th. That's Valentine's Day, right? In Australia. It's 7 a.m. Gold Coast, Australia, and 8 a.m. Melbourne, Australia. And remember that you can always keep yourself updated on our shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. And of course, you can also check out YouTube if you search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio on YouTube. You can check out short videos of upcoming episodes. And we are a live calling worldwide radio show, broadcasting today's show from Arizona in the US and Rhodes in Greece. And you can listen live and text chat with us during the show at scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live. And if you haven't called in yet, now is the time to get your spot in the queue. So why don't you call us at 213-943-3587. Sorry for my voice. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device to be placed in queue, and we see that you want to talk with us. So I'm done.
Okay. Did you say there was a question? Was there a question in the chat room before I
Yes,
proceed?
we have a question. Yes.
Okay.
So do you want me to read it?
Sure.
The question is from Lil Fairy. And Lil Fairy is saying, "Hi, Sue and Ann. I'd like to ask, what does the universe want me to know about the guy that I noticed at the grocery store 2 weeks ago, please? Felt drawn to him and seems it was mutual. Thanks." So, do you have anything around that question?
Yeah, I actually do, little fairy, and it's quite forward. So, what I actually am being told is, before going forward with relationships, okay, before looking to possibly bring someone into our life, we have to go inward and work on us. What came out, quite honestly, was addicted to the idea of being in a relationship. And what that tells me when that comes out is that, because you asked, have the universe tell you. Okay, so since the universe is going to tell you, the universe is saying, don't move into relationships yet. Continue self-work. Continue growing, connecting, and building your spiritual connection, your own connection first. And then that will follow afterward. Because what I'm hearing from Spirit is they really want you to work on yourself first before really bringing in someone else. Um, and that's a tough statement to make. I understand that. As human beings, we don't necessarily want to be by ourselves. I completely understand that. But I'm hearing and feeling very strongly about a lot of self work here first. Take care of you first. Find out who you are. Work on the things you need. And then when you really know who you are, those things start to fall into place. They just seem to kind of happen, so to speak. But they really do want you to do more inward work, more self-reflective work. Anne, is there anything you could add to that?
Absolutely, and I fully understand where you're coming from and what your message is, and that's a very common message actually, because even if it sounds a little bit harsh, maybe I get basically the same as you, Sue, because it's all about what we discover within and how we create the relationship with self, and I know that it's not probably what one wants to hear. And okay, Lil Fairy is saying, thanks for working on healing my past issues, indeed, knowing myself well, very true. Okay, wow. I'm so happy because that's basically the only way to find the love that we are wishing for and the love that we are seeking. Because if we have unfinished business within, we are not going to radiate that security. It doesn't mean that we are really bad in self-worth or we are really bad in general. No, it doesn't mean that. It simply means that we haven't really fully created the relationship with self. And I actually see healing for you just as Sue mentioned, as you mentioned too. So to find true love, just move on with the healing work that you are doing and have fun along the way. I fully understand that you have been single for years, and I can understand it's tough. But try to focus on feeling the gratitude instead. I know that's very easy for me to say too. Everything we are saying now is easy to say, but it takes a little bit more work and guts to do it. But it's when you really appreciate yourself and you have that feeling of gratitude with yourself, no matter how life is looking at that specific moment, that's when you're going to have the breakthrough. So it's coming because there's always someone for us. What we don't want to do, I'm saying that without judgment too, we don't want to repeat the old way, because that means we're going to find love in a way that we know that we don't want that anymore. We don't want that type of love or the circumstances around those kinds of relationships. So basically just keep on, and you are well on your way. You are well on your way. Okay? So we're sending you much much love and light. Do you have anything to add, Sue?
Well, yeah, and no one's saying no to who you met. Like, no one's saying that. But when it jumps out at first that the self-work is involved, and that maybe there's some of that addictiveness, and that's not an accusation, it's just kind of what I'm hearing, to the idea of relationship, it just says, okay, take that step back a little and make sure the patterns we've created for ourselves in the past we're not continuing to create. I know it seems like a harsh word. I can't help what comes in. It just does. But really, it's about breaking some of our own cycles, the cycles that kind of bring us to the stage again. And this is really what they're looking for you. They're looking for you to kind of break some of those old cycles and create something new that's more in alignment with you, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
that's what I'm hearing. Anyways, I hope that helps, Will Fairy.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope it makes sense for you. So we love you very much, and we send you much love and light. And keep us updated. We are curious.
Right.
Okay?
Right. And we're
Thank
always
you so
here.
much.
Yep. Thank you. Sissy, I'm going to take a call because we've got a caller. So
yes.
Hang on there real quick. Hello,
Hi.
caller. Hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jessica, New Jersey.
Hi, Jessica. Welcome. How's it over there in Jersey?
Hi.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Jessica.
It's a beautiful sort of gloomy, rainy day, and
fun.
just enjoying myself. I'm watching movies today, and I turned on your show, and that's it, just hanging out, doing some work casually.
I get you.
Nice.
So are we. Doing some work casually. I get you. So what can we do for you?
I don't know if I have any specific question. I did a huge healing on myself yesterday to clear some patterns, or a pattern that I was dealing with for a long time in my career and around money. And I think that is what has brought me the peace today. I think I was probably digging into the Akashic Records. I was having a very sort of serious emotional talk with my inner child. And I'm just...
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I feel wonderful, and I'm just sort of in this space of looking to the universe of like, okay, and what's next? What are you bringing me? Who are you bringing me to help?
Right.
And as a client and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything related to that, if you're getting any impressions or...
I did, actually. I did, and I've got good chills for you. So I'm hearing they are so proud of you. And the biggest word I got, and it was in bold letters with the exclamation point, was great job, Jessica. Keep at it. This is where you need to be on that spiritual side. And those things we were just discussing.
Sorry, that my phone went out for a minute. What did they say in big bold? I missed that.
Great job. Great. I mean, big bold letters, and that you're being asked not only to continue, but that who we were just answering prior to picking up your phone call, Little Fairy. About that self-work, that's exactly, of course, it's evident to you that you're doing that, the self-work, and the meeting new people because you're changing the direction, both the inner person, the inner child, like you said, you're doing that self-work, you're reaching out, you've got a lot of guidance going on, quite honestly, some amazing spiritual guidance that's helping you. Like we said to, we responded last, all that other stuff kind of falls into place. That's exactly what's happening for you. It's like that perfect storm. It's happening, and it's going to continue happening. And I'm hearing relationships, bold relationships. There's a lot of good stuff coming your way. It feels clean. It feels good. It feels pure. And you're definitely in the right space, in the right place in your head, in the right space spiritually. You've got an abundant amount of ascended masters around you. This isn't just little guardian angels. And I don't mean to diminish that, but these are massive.
And the guardian angels. But I
understand. Say that again? Yeah, I know you do. I mean, we're talking the big kahunas here. I'm just bringing it down to the simplification. But really, you are, and there's a lot of pride in your accomplishments. So there's somebody else around you, separate from the ascended masters, a family member. I feel like this is a a strong female presence who has a lot of pride in what you're doing. So I don't know if there's somebody you've been connected with or somebody who you know is always around you. But there is a very strong female presence, and there's a lot of pride going on there. So keep it up. Keep it up. You're doing,
thank you. It's beautiful.
You're doing great.
I definitely feel that today, and you know what? I've been doing a lot of, when you're healing your childhood wounds and finally releasing them for good, and the family karma, and I was just making a video about this morning. You free your ancestors of all of the gunk that they were carrying for generations, and I've been calling on them strongly, because I was like, at times when I was going through this journey, and especially over the last couple of weeks, I was like, I need your help. This is freeing you too. I was like, I need your help to just end these cycles, just close them out, because I noticed how you're holding on to them for a little bit. But once you finally clear that stuff, and you're right about the relationship stuff, relationships that have been definitely going on, and
phenomenal.
Well, I'm switching it. So basically, I'm just watching everybody drop away. That is not. I'm letting them go. It's not necessarily that they're leaving this time. I'm not with anger, not with resentment, not any of that past stuff I used to have around relationships. It's just like, you're not right. It's not in resonance. This is something old, and I'm just open to new types of relationships. So
not conducive to your divinity. I mean, it's not. It wasn't, and that's okay. That is absolutely okay. That's what we're supposed to do, especially if it's not. It doesn't help feed us emotionally. It's more of the destructive side of, and we can easily fall into that pattern. And it takes time to understand it. So you are being supported. Everything you're reaching out for is being answered. But I think you know that already. I'm just confirming what you already know. It's so abundantly obvious to you. Correct? Yeah. I thought so.
Let's talk about it,
I'm curious, before I ask Ann if she's got anything, I'm curious if you're seeing a lot of rainbow colors.
No.
Are you seeing? No, because I'm seeing them. I am seeing just, the chakra colors for you, and just they're just really strong. All the chakra colors are really strong for you, and maybe that's basically what I'm seeing is the chakras spinning correctly on all cylinders. But I won't be surprised if you start seeing colors, the chakra colors. They're just going to kind of maybe come out in places you would have never expected to see them.
Oh, I do. I can see them, but I thought you were saying, do I see rainbow colors? And I don't on like a regular basis, but when I'm doing healing work and when I'm doing my meditation, doing just like charging my chakras and clearing them, I see them. Like it's interesting because my throat chakra, I have had a lot of let's say experiences around the throat chakra. I had to do some healing around it. And it's interesting because for the last, several months, year, that throat chakra I see so beautifully, like all the, when we have a weakness in an area, it becomes like one of our strengths. Sometimes when I just look at my energy body, I just see that beautiful gem of the throat chakra. I'm like, wow, it's just gorgeous. Like it really is how people draw it,
Yep. Yeah. And that kind of just for me, it just projected out, as far as visually appearing in front of you. So I kind of took that as, she's visually seeing colors right in front of her. But they look beautiful because I can see them. So they're absolutely all in alignment. But you're going to see them more, not just, when we see it with the third eye, we see ourselves eternally, chakra colors. You're going to actually, I keep seeing it with you, like on a wall. There's going to be these colors that are going to present themselves in an unexpected place. And that's just you. Okay, so when you see it, it's actually you coming out. So trying to figure out why. I'm trying to ask why, but for some reason I'm not really hearing why. It's just maybe how you're vibrating, and so now you get to see it with the naked eye, not just with the third eye, so to speak.
Wow,
It
that's
really,
cool.
yeah. I
Yeah.
had that happen too. It just kind of popped out at me, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And I actually sent a picture of it to Anne. It blew me away. And in the strangest of places, it showed up where it should not have been. Anyways,
That's awesome.
I digress. Let me see if Anne has anything. Sorry, Anne, are you there?
I'm waiting patiently here, listening to you, and it's absolutely stunning. And I confirm what Sue says, and you have worked really hard, and everyone is very proud of you. And I mean, um, even here on Earth, it feels like you have people around you that have seen your change, and maybe they don't express that in words, but I do feel that they are proud of you and your ancestors and those in spirit who are around you and the ascended masters and the angels and everybody, because it's absolutely the most wonderful thing we can do for each other. It doesn't mean it have been fun all the time during the journey, but now you have passed that, and it's I feel that it's still continuing a little bit for you, but it feels like whatever have been challenging, that's released and that's gone. That's not coming back anymore. And it's a time for you to have some memories, maybe review a little bit, so that you feel even more sure about what to do in the future. And of course, keep stay out of being distracted by conventional thinking, but I know that you are very strong. I can hear that in your story and in your voice and what you're telling, because sometimes people can also put up opinions on us and they have a lot of thinking, but that's their part, right? So you are actually radiating this new you, and it's coming from within you, and you are fully connected with yourself. And I see a lot of abundance forward coming for you. So basically that means it's a time for you to figure out what you really want to manifest. And if you feel that you have a lot of things that you want to manifest, start with one or two, just go with them and make them happen. And I do feel that life is generally wonderful right now for you, and it feels to continue throughout the year. So it's a very good time for you now, here and now, in this time, in all of times, to keep on and just enjoy, embrace, and feel gratitude for where you are at, and feel very proud for what you have been doing and the work you have been doing. I hope that makes sense to you.
That's beautiful. You guys have made me feel so much better, and I was feeling really good today anyway. So
Great.
I am feeling it's really a lot of pride today, and
Right.
I'm just relishing in that. It's like little things, well, not little things, these big things that were occupying my life for so long. This workaholism, this nonstop self-help, and healing myself. It's like sometimes when you're going through it, you just think it's like never going to end. And the workaholism obviously is an addiction, but I mean, so is self-help constantly, the spirituality and the healing. And really the last few days, the last week or so, I was like, I don't need this stuff anymore. I mean, of course, you're going to always be growing and learning, but it's just amazing on how like it really all has just like cleared out of my life. Like I don't have any other words to explain it. It was just like it's just been a miracle, sort of like this magical.
Yes.
I mean, in a way, it's so obvious that like cycles end, and we all understand that.
Right.
But this was a very long journey for me to heal stuff, and you're right. Like it's not such a pretty at times and fun and.
No, it's not. We don't laugh all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like 10, 12 years, I guess more like 12 years of just like digging in that. And then all of a sudden, several days ago, Spirit was like, it's over. And I was like, huh? Like I was just kind of taking in that message. I was like, huh? What? Am I hearing you right? But yeah, I'm
but
done. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, Jessica, that as we are seeing it here now, I'm speaking for you, Sue. So if you feel I'm wrong, you just have to hint to us. But the work we do and how we see the Akashic Records and the energies, because it is energies, and we are not here to go to school on Earth, because we already have everything that we need. We are fulfilled and complete as souls. The thing is that when we come here and throughout our growth, you can say, it's kind of a growth, but it's not a school. So we are experiencing things. And when we come to clarity and when we start to understand things, we can realize that, okay, I can still pick and choose this person, but that would mean that I'm staying in my and repeating my usual pattern. So that's going to be that past experience again. And if I choose this person, I would probably have another type of experience, and I can explore some things yet that I may have not experienced in myself here in this 3D world. So we start to realize that we have those choices. So it's actually very beautiful, because that means that we own our power and we can pick and choose. We can't pick and choose for others. That's their thing. But we can pick and choose how we react to things and if we say no to someone, we have the full right to do that. Right? So it's so beautiful to come to that place of clarity, isn't it? And it feels really that you have come to that place. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank God. Actually, let me ask you a question about the Akashic Records, because something that I think about quite a lot, especially these days, is the whole idea of parallel lives and like just different timelines. And how does the Akashic Records view that? Because on one way that I see that is the experiences that I went through. It was like, well, maybe you had to go through these in order to gain the wisdom. But then the other part of me is like, well, I think I probably could have chosen maybe higher timelines if I was in a better emotional state at the time. So is there anything that you know about that? What do you think about that? I mean, what does the Akashic Records kind of say or you see with that?
Okay. Do you want to answer, Sue, or do you want me to answer?
Well, I'm curious, just really quick. What studies have you done with the Akashic Records?
Years ago, I got a book, I think it was by Linda Howe or something, and I did the prayer, and I would go in and ask questions, and that's basically the extent of it. I mean, I think in a way I actually do read the Akashic Records, but I don't do the whole way that is maybe traditionally taught, that how you go in.
Right. So that's actually the reason I asked is because now it's time to. It's actually time to for you. It's time for you to look into similar to what Ann and I have done, which is the Soul Realignment, which is, okay, so as humans, we can still kind of be a little wonky in our questioning sometimes. When you have some of that training behind you, it's so precise. We don't get too much into parallels. Not that I could recall through our education. I'd have to ask Ann. But, I have my own theories on that as well. But I would honestly consider looking at furthering your education on that aspect to receive more clarity for yourself and to become a better practitioner, because quite honestly, I think this is work for you for the future, to be quite honest. You're where you need to be. And
yes.
Let me see if Ann has a better answer than me. I just, this is what I'm feeling. But go ahead, Ann.
I kind of lost the question, but I think I tried to answer. The Akashic Records, there's a huge amount of information you can find in there. And as we approach the Akashic Records as soul realignment practitioners, we are having very specific questions because we really want to get specific answers that are going to make sense to the person that's going to get them, either if we are going in for ourselves or for someone else, for a client. So approaching the Akashic Records, I think I mentioned in the beginning of the show, it's very important to have specific questions so you get the answers that you are seeking because it's so big. And I feel that we are here to experience ourselves. So that's why everything is basically all about choices and consequences. And that could also be expressed as karma, if you would like to say that. So when we are making a choice about something, we have free will and there's never ever any judgment, but we will experience accordingly to what we have been choosing. And sometimes people also can feel a fear of making the wrong choices and say after a year, for instance, if I made another choice a year back, maybe I would have been in a different place. I feel that we can't really make the wrong choices, and this is only my opinion and where I come from, because it's not necessary that we need to go through challenges. It's about understanding things, and sometimes we do certain choices because I feel that we are specifically walking this path. We make some choices because unconsciously, even if we are very developed, many things still occur unconsciously. We pick something and we choose something that we understand will give us a deeper knowledge, because it's still like peeling that onion. So yes, you can pass that and you can go to higher dimensions, but you still need to experience yourself as a soul here in this three-dimensional reality. And it's basically the same time. If there had been created something here like a karmic thing in the third dimensional reality, we can't solve that if we transition over to the other side. So we have to do that next lifetime, if that makes sense. So anything created needs to be worked with in the dimension it had been created. So if we, for instance, would have been creating something on the other side, when we are in a different place between incarnations here, then that needs to be resolved there. But I feel that when we are there, we have a broader perspective and we know we have access more easily to more information, because this three-dimensional reality we are in can feel like walking in mud sometimes. It's dense, so it's not easy for us to just tap into things and remember, like when we are in high dimensions, for instance, that the density is much less.
Does that make sense,
Hello?
Jessica?
Oh yeah, I lost her for a minute there, but I guess she just stopped. But yeah. I mean, it was just a thing of it always. It won't always amaze me. It just still happens to amaze me right now. Of I went through the period of sort of the twilight zone for many years, and then all of a sudden, Spirit gave me back my life. Like, it was really a mystical, magical thing that Spirit's like, okay, and you're back to normal. It was like, whoa, where the hell did I go for those years? But so like, that's why it's like, it just is, it was just incredible. I really don't have words for it. So that's why those parallel lives, just the parallel universes stuff, that stuff, it's interesting to me. Right.
Anne, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry for that. I hope you heard me. The connection broke for me, so I was thrown out. I'm back.
This is what happens, with the internet. You sometimes get kicked off and you have to bounce back on.
Yeah. Like the Akashic Records, right?
Yeah, right. Jessica, I really would like you to go over to our page, scrollsofthesoul.com, because there we have information on what our training was, which is Soul Realignment. And it's just
I
a
have that.
recommendation.
I can. Yes, I can recommend something. It's a free webinar from our teacher, Andrea Hess. And if you go to scrollsofthesoul.com/webinar, scrollsofthesoul.com/webinar, you can actually find it, and it's free. And she has it, I think, every Saturday. So you can just listen and see. I like her style personally because sometimes there are so many theories here, because we talked about that today too. Every one of us have our theories based on our experiences and what messages we are receiving. But I think many times it's less it is if we think of it as energies. So if you feel, sign up for her webinar. I think that you would
Yeah,
love
I'll do
it.
that. Because the Soul Realignment, that's why I noticed your show today. It was interesting to me. And I'll sign up for that webinar. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
We always
Thanks for the reading, for the chat.
Oh, you're welcome. We always discuss some aspect of the Akashic Records through the Soul Realignment perspective. So this is per our education, like Ann said. And without giving out proprietary information, which of course was, like Ann said, our teacher is Andrea Hess, but we still try to bring it down to a level in which it's kind of understood and explain it. And I think you're there. I think you're in that space where you're so ready. You're in that like magical space, and you're so ready.
Yes.
And I think this would be so beautifully suited for you. I feel very strongly about it. So,
cool. I'll check it out.
But
thank you very much.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
And please write us, call us. We're on every week at the same time. And just kind of let us know where you're at, because you have my curiosity up, and I'm really curious to see where you're going to go from here.
Mine too.
Oh, that's
mine
awesome.
too.
I'm curious too. Except for I have a vision for it. We're just it's just enjoying the now right now. So
right. Hey, that's fine.
Thank you.
That's fine. All right, Jessica, I think we're going to have to wrap it up a little. Good luck with everything. And
thank you
give us
so
a
much.
ring when you can.
Really.
All right, I will.
Right.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, love.
Bye.
Bye.
Beautiful call. Absolutely beautiful call.
Yes. Yes.
We are, and I just like to state, if you're on, and you've called into the show, and you want us to take your call, everyone needs to press 1. Otherwise, for me, because I run the board and I see the phone calls, if you want me to pick up, you've got to press 1. Otherwise, I'm assuming you're just a listener listening in right now. And Ann and I are soon getting ready to kind of wrap things up. So I've got one more phone call. Would you like to take one more call, Sissy?
Absolutely. Shoot.
Okay. Hang on. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Equanif. I'm calling from South Carolina.
Hi, love. Oh, my God. Say that name again. Equanif?
Yeah, Equanif.
Very unusual. Where does that come from?
It comes from Africa, the Medu Neter language, which is the language of the ancient Egyptians.
Wow.
Wow.
That is a very unusual name. It's kind of cool,
Yes.
actually. I'm sure people have told
Very
you that
cool.
before. What can we do for you? What can we do for you, love?
Hello?
I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Anyways, we
Maybe.
are starting to probably run out of time here. And I would say,
Yes.
Sissy, if you'd like to take over. I think we're good with phone calls. Sorry about that,
Yeah.
Econique. Maybe next week you can call back in and we can take your question.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much, everybody calling us and listening in and text chatting with us and interacting with us in general. And wonderful calls today and wonderful, beautiful question also in the chat room. So thank you, Little Fairy, and thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Equabik. I think I don't say it the right way, but thank you. Please call us again. On today's show, we have been talking about soul realignment, what are the Akashic Records, plus taking your calls for questions and mini readings live on air. Our next upcoming show here on Scrolls of the Soul Radio is next Thursday, February 13th, with Soul Sisters Show, and we will welcome special guest Bob Jaco, all the way from Australia, and talk about co-creation, what it really means. Jaco is a very experienced man with more than 40 years in the spiritual field, and he has done many things. You can always go to scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming to find out upcoming shows and read about the upcoming radio show next week. So you can read about Bob there. And we will also take your calls for questions and discussions live on air. I know that Bob doesn't do mini readings like we do, but we can pop in once in a while if anyone asks for a free mini reading. And we want you to note that we changed the airtime for next week's show because of the time, different time zones. Bob Jacob is based on the Gold Coast in Australia. Sue is in Arizona, and I am in Greece, in Europe. So we go live 1 p.m. Pacific time, U.S., 9 p.m. London time in the U.S., p.m. Greek time in Greece. And it's going to be Friday, 14th of February. That's Valentine's Day also. 7 a.m. Gold Coast in Australia and 8 a.m. Melbourne, Australia. And know that you can listen to the replays of all our shows anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past, or within 24 hours you can go to our YouTube. You just search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio on YouTube and you can listen to a full past episode on YouTube. Keep yourself updated on our shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. And if you'd like to connect with Sue or myself, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And also, if you are interested in soul realignment, we do recommend you to sign up for a free webinar. You can find it at scrollsofthesoul.com/webinar. scrollsofthesoul.com/webinar. If we didn't have a chance to take your call today, please call into our next show. That's next Thursday. And I hear someone here. I don't know. Maybe someone is trying to talk to us. No, I want to say thank you all for listening and calling in and interacting with us. And you can always text chat with us on scrollsofthesoul.com/live, and we are answering questions and mini readings and whatever you're sending there during the shows. But you can text if you want to any time in between. And we're back next Thursday, February 13th, with Soul Sister Show, and we will welcome special guest Bob Jaco and talk about co-creation, what it really means. We changed the airtime for next week's show because Bob is in Australia, Sue is in Arizona in the US, and I'm in Greece in Europe. So we go live 1 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. London, and 11 p.m. Greece. And that would be 7 a.m. Gold Coast, Australia on Friday morning, 8 a.m. Melbourne, Australia, Friday morning. Sue, do you have anything you want to tell the listeners before the show ends?
As always, I'd like to say thank you, everyone, for entrusting us with your questions. We absolutely always appreciate it. Again, said, if you didn't get a chance for us to take your call today, we are normally on at this time every week, except for when we have a guest who's out of Australia. Again, thank you, and I'm just going to do a quick shout out to my mom. Angels watch over you all night long.
And I say love, life, peace, and joy to all of you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.